All right, time for another Patreon upload. This one is we're talking about Moon Knight. We watched the whole series and we went through the whole thing and we offered up all of our thoughts. Generally, we were positive on the show. We thought it could be a little bit shorter. It probably didn't need to be as long as it was, but it was one of the better shows. And we were kind of surprised it never tied into any of the other Marvel stuff. I was very confused about that. And I'm also confused as to why they haven't really moved forward with a second season yet. I mean, there's been talk of it. There's been some development in some capacity. Oscar Isaac said he'd be okay coming back. But even that cliffhanger ending where it reveals the third personality of Moon Knight, it's just this hanging Chad that's never been addressed. It was overall a successful show, good reviews, good viewership. I'm very kind of confused why they never continued with this one. I do think that they could have possibly put this into the Marvel Universe. I mean, Seth was always pitching that you could have done Moon Knight as just the film The Raid, but put Moon Knight in the main character's role and just set it in one building. I would have been totally okay with that. They did go a bit grander with it, which I do think it got a little absurd by the very end. But overall, I really like the show. Ethan Hawke wasn't as enthusiastic about it. He said he mainly did it just for the money, just to pay the bills. And, that's fine. Make your money, do your job. That's sometimes you do things because you just need the money. And that's okay. But the show is overall pretty good. I hope they do a second season. I hope they somehow integrate him into the Marvel Universe. It'd be nice to see him maneuvering around with some other characters in the universe. But yeah, we offered up our general thoughts, and overall we were positive. But if you want to hear more in-depth thoughts, just continue watching. So here's our full discussion of the Moon Knight show. Enjoy.
Welcome to a new episode of So What Else, entitled Seth Was Wrong, Moon Knight Ended Up Being Really Good.
You get it now, Seth. You really get it.
To circle out the panel today, I have with me Hope.
What's going on?
You can check her out at biohazard_Leia on Twitter. Also with us is Jesse.
Hello, I'm back again.
And that is at Hardcore B-Shot for him if you'd like to chat with him. I am at Seth X Decker, and my take from the last episode was wrong. I really wasn't on board initially. I got more on board. The 5th episode is the one that got me, which is usually not a good sign.
Takes a little while to get rolling.
Yeah, and then the final episode made everything backwards make sense in context, which made me feel like I had progressed through being a crazy person into being a sane person. And
back
whether
to being
that was
a crazy person.
yeah, exactly. Whether that was intentional or not, I don't know, but it really aided the experience for me. I'm like genuinely, I'm not kidding on this one. It actually really helped the experience for it to come together right at the end for me to be like, okay, no, I'm not crazy. Okay.
Yeah. I will say I did call one thing where I said that they were going to take away his kind of dark mercenary background. They did tone that down. I knew they were gonna they were going to do it. I knew it because in the book he is a murderer. He is a killer.
They allude to it, and they do. I mean, his ass they marked his ass at the end. So I mean, he is a murderer.
I feel like they're really holding off on this like murder plot thing for Shang-Chi as well. I think they're waiting for that R-rated thing to roll out before they drop. They're like hinting at these stories that could get darker. And so I think they're going to roll out the murder stories in a couple years when the R-rated line starts.
You know what they're probably going to do at some point? Secret Avengers.
Oh,
The special forces team that does the really dark, shady shit that the mainstream Avengers can't do.
And the Punisher, John Bernthal's Punisher, is your new Nick Fury. He's like the perfect center point to be like, yep, I know what the fuck is going on here, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put him in charge of a team.
Yeah. He's the one Nick Fury's like, all right, like, I already have enough shady shit on my hands. Can you take some of the load off me?
Yeah, like a line like that. It's like, what's too shady for Nick Fury? And then cut to John Bernthal as the Punisher just decimating a pedophile or something. It's like, oh shit, this ain't your mama's MCU anymore.
Oh God.
It's like Nick at night. It's like MCU after dark. Like
I love it. I love it.
God, man. God. Yeah, this was good. This is a good ending. I was kind of mixed on it because they do go into the hospital sequences where I was getting very big Legion flashbacks.
Yeah, me too. Me
but
too.
I liked that though because I loved Legion. I really did.
Yeah. I didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, but it kind of threw me off. I was like, okay, is it all in his head? And it never really says like, is it all in his head or is it for real? It never overtly says one way or the other.
Yeah,
because there's still no MCU connection. There's nothing.
No,
there's not even.
It's a standalone. Yeah. Well, that's funny enough. What Seth and I were talking about is like we have some theories on that. Like, well, because the big battle scene at the end, no one could see, as Seth pointed out, no one could see the gods. It was just like a big natural phenomena. You know, to any of the outsiders, that is. Like, people just randomly died and then big storm, you know? Mm-hmm. And then another thing, too, is what my theory was is this might have happened during the blip.
Yeah.
So the Avengers are already scattered. No one can see the gods. So all that's coming up on their radars is like a phenomenal storm. And then maybe a few days later, they see death tolls skyrocket because the death toll skyrocketed, and then they may have checked it out, but in the end, it's
just like, what the fuck happened?
Right, but at the end, it's just like they would have to write it off because they wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, well, and if you're mid blip and you don't know what's going on, like people could just disappear. That is your new reality. So like, I'm sure everything that happened there could have been lumped into. Yeah, I guess these people blipped and we just didn't get them the first time. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. Or something, you know, because not everyone knows all the fine details. So that's another theory too, you know?
It's really crafty. That's what surprised me. I think I wasn't seeing the craftiness early on. And as it kind of tightened the corset, I was like, oh, this is really coming together. Like I went from being a non-believer into like, going, oh, I think I know where they're going, and then they started doing the things I thought they were going to be doing, and I was just buying in as we went. What really put the linchpin in it for me was finding out the director is Egyptian, and he had some words about Wonder Woman 84 and their depiction of Egypt. And so if the Scarlet Scarab stuff in the last episode looked a little familiar to you, that was somebody rescuing their homeland, and that just makes me fucking giddy.
Well, the thing is, too, the original... Mark's original love interest was like a white woman. So that was his way of saying, fuck you, we're going to switch shift on this because y'all fucked up. And you know what? If that's the type of switch they're going to do, totally here for it. Don't even care. Like, I'm cool with that. Totally. And the fact they made statements that it was the literal first female Egyptian superhero.
Yeah.
They overtly call that out in the middle of the episode. Like, are you an Egyptian superhero? And she's like, yep.
Yep.
But because they made groundbreaking stakes, there's been like male Egyptians, but never a female. So that literally is a first in the world.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool that, like, you know, DC kind of stole first, you know, female fronted superhero movie within like this current era, and then they got to kind of duck in and be like, yeah, but there's a couple niches in here you missed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love that they still got to get a sweep of the leg on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, knowing that
it was needed.
This character's more interesting than Wonder Woman.
Oh, absolutely.
Wonder Woman is really kind of just dull, in my opinion.
Dude, this is what Wonder Woman should be, though. She should be like an adventurer type character. This like warrior thing. Well, I mean, it's Zack Snyder's thing, so you know, I get why. But
you can only do so much. But
why does the woman in that story have to be like rich and like famous? Like what? That kind of goes against the purpose of having a secret identity. Like, you're in the public eye the entire time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because her alter ego is, you know, a made-up person from a made-up place to everyone else. Not like Clark Kent and... Well, Kal-El, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, superheroes are weird.
Yeah. Comics are weird. Yeah. So was it just me, or is this visual effects even at the end of the series still not very good?
Dude, Disney's gonna get a big fucking slap for that in coming years. I am anticipating it right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because they honestly didn't think this was going to be like their big grab off. So they're like, oh, we don't have to dump as much money into this because XYZ. And it's like, I don't think you're missing out, guys.
Which it's nuts because some of the art that's on display here, like having the final god, I can't remember her name, having her Amet, having her dreads turn into her tail as part of her design, I thought was just like really, really cool.
They were super creative with it, like super fucking creative.
It's just a little bit of extra spit shine on there. You know, Disney, shell out the money for your artist, please.
Stop overworking people. Pay them overtime, please.
Right, just do something. Shit.
The public can wait. It will be released, and then time will progress forward as normal. Like, we can wait for the good stuff.
Yeah. But you're gonna change it anyways. Just come on, guys. It's like doing a college report, and then after you've already turned it in, saying, "No, can I have one more day to work on this and clean it up a little bit?" No, you can't do that, assholes. Jesus Christ.
It's not what you signed up for, dear.
Ask for an extension.
Yes. Yeah, so the Jake Lockley reveal at the very end.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming.
I knew it was happening, but I didn't know when it was happening.
There's rumors that it actually happened in 3. It was his personality that popped through into the doctor's office for a minute.
When he's like, "You're not the doctor. You're not a real doctor."
Yep.
Yeah. And I love that. Again, these little seeds that I wasn't picking up on because I just assumed it was Mark. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to tell me otherwise except for the busted nose, which then. Oh shit, this is all starting to make sense. It really did. It felt like watching a serialized series where you get something new every time you get a new episode, and I wasn't expecting that out of Marvel. It was really my bad that I didn't engage with it properly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta say, it's also because we're so used to the formulaic thing with Marvel. So when we're not expecting this new take on things. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, been there, done that, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, oh, wait, shit. Okay, hold on, pump the brakes. Let's
they're
do
taking
this,
risks.
you know?
It's almost like they listened when we were all saying at the end of Phase 3, it's like, well, whatever they do from here, they have to take some risks if they want to keep people. Well, that's what they're doing now.
Yeah, because people were getting tired. They were steamed out. They're like, yeah, we're done with Marvel, man. Like they were losing steam, and they're bringing it back.
You know what it is? It's when you buy a Lego set, you got to build it the right way the first time, right? But then you got to tear it apart and build some other shit with that, you know? Like, that is the fun of the Legos. And truly, this is a artistic visual representation of that, you know, these, like, scenes with characters and stories and settings. It's visual Legos.
Yeah. Now I want to play with some Legos.
Dude, I fucking love Legos.
They're so expensive now.
I have a Lego Mandalorian on my keychain.
Dude, right now at my desk in my little setup, I have a Yoda and the Grogu like staring at me, and they're the Lego ones. Like, I'll have to send you guys a photo of it.
I have the little.
I sent you the Lego Rancor.
Well, that too. I'm just saying, like, but he's on my like display shelf. Because he's smaller. Yeah. These are like the bigger scaled. Like, they're both like these are like a foot tall things.
Yeah. I have the little Grogu minifigure in my car. He's glued onto the dashboard.
Yes. Anyway, we're not talking about Star Wars. It's we're talking about
well, it's all fucking Disney now, dude.
Yeah. Fair.
All of this is linked together. Like, the next Ready Player One is just going to be Disney. It's just going to be a movie titled Disney with all their
Disney
shit
Player
in it.
One.
Disney Player One.
I don't want to watch the new Space Jam. Fuck that movie,
dude. That new Space Jam was a piece of shit.
Oh, can we not talk about it?
Didn't Spielman say that he liked it?
No, he didn't. I mean, well, he got a good experience out of it, I think is what he said.
Okay.
I don't think he was like defending it as like a great film to be added to the repertoire.
Okay, good.
I just how do you fuck up the plot of Hook? That's my question. Like, how do you fuck up?
You make it a cash grab, trying to shove in nostalgia,
right?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Why is the Iron Giant here? I've seen him like more times recently than in his own fucking movie.
Nobody even saw the Iron Giant when it came out. What the fuck, dude?
I did.
I was gonna say I did.
Okay. A mass audience did not see Iron Giant when it came out.
True. I wanted to make sure my hipster cred was standing.
I accept and appreciate your cred, Seth.
Thank you. I feel
Are you validated?
I am so validated.
Yeah. Anyways, Moon Knight. I'm very happy this is only 6 episodes, because what the hell do you do with another 2 episodes? Like, this is the perfect length.
It would have to be a new
Christ.
season, like a new whole thing after how it ended. So
it's a mini series. They understood the assignment, like the topic matter of the like Indiana Jones mini series that he's in love with in the show is the perfect framing for this. Like the genius is layered, and they layered it along with his personalities and his emotions and his character arc. Like his character arc is learning to love himself. That's an odd one for the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That what brings us something I wanted to talk about was the depiction of dissociative identity disorder and trauma.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the representation in the show? Pretty accurate? Pretty good?
I'd say it's fairly accurate.
Yeah, so the something that they land on that I think what maybe wasn't highlighted that might get highlighted later is like living with DID is an option. Like that is something that with a good therapist and with a lot of time and a lot of dedication to it, people can learn to live with their DID in a similar way to this, where they understand their different personalities and what they need, and they have to self-manage. And this show. It had a roundabout way to get there, because it still had to be accessible in some way, but they didn't dumb that down. And I think that's, as someone who's studied psychology, I really appreciated that it wasn't an evilness about him. That's really important.
Yeah.
It was just another part of him. It wasn't,
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that is how DID manifests. It is, trauma sourced. So like the depiction was broad, but it was accurate and within like the newer contexts of what we understand. Like DID has been this demonized mental disorder. It is literally the twist ending in so many thrillers. It is the laziest twist ending that you can land on at
and
this
the thing
point.
is, they don't even do it properly either.
Exactly. And then you have movies like Split that intentionally make that the villain of the story, which like as cool of an acting thing that is, it was not as great of a representation as it could have been.
Well, I don't think Shyamalan really cared.
No, yeah. And like that's what happens when you turn a spin-off side character into the thing you focus on. Because David was originally in, or whatever his name was originally in his Unbreakable script. And then he cut out that whole side plot. So that's what happens when you like what would have been a side character would have been an easy display of this. That's when you dive into it deeper. It's like, oh no, there's a whole human being in here. We should be a little empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Anya Taylor-Joy in that movie as well?
Yeah, she is. That was one of her early ones.
Oh wow, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. It's an okay movie. It's just not accurate in terms of what it's trying to do.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure. But and it even takes its time to show that he is actively in therapy for it. And that at least that is a good step. The demonization of like the darker personalities. Those are just trauma responses. That's all that is. Like there's no demonic thing inside any human being that's going to come out like that. That is just a really deep hurt. Trauma response is what happens there.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I was watching the sequence where Mark and Steven are in the desert, and you remember how it got announced that Oscar Isaac is playing Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid movie. Liquid and Solid are twins.
Yeah.
One of them has a British accent.
Oh,
I think we got an early preview, guys.
Dude, that's how all these projects work now, man.
Everyone's like, how's that going to work? Well, this is how they're going to do
it.
his.
Was his British accent, a little on the stereotypical thick side? I think it was a little too twee at times.
Well, I think it was purposefully done because his alter ego Steven was based off of like an old 80s
Oh,
movie.
right. Yeah.
So they
So
purposely did that to like be kooky with what he based it off of.
Right.
So
it is an American approximation of a British accent masked into a personality. It's not that thing where sometimes people get hit in the head and then speak another language. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
although that would be cool, but no.
It has happened. There's multiple
No, I'm
cases of
saying
it.
I know it's happened. I'm saying like it would be cool if that happened to his character, but
Oh yeah,
you know.
no, that would be that would be awesome.
That'd be kind of cool if I could just get hit in the head and I could start speaking Italian or some shit.
Yeah, but you lose English. That it's like it just activates the other language in your brain.
So technically we all know everything. It's just a matter of what part of my head I need to get hit on. Okay.
Kind of, it's like linked in with exposure, and it like there's a subconscious element to it, and it is not well understood either. It is one of like those like it's a psychological cryptid essentially. It's the idea of something that we know is being seen, something's being seen, but we don't know exactly what it is that's happening there.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, just like how everyone's like, oh, we only use 10% of our brains. No, we only understand 10% of our brains.
If you only use 10% of your brain, you'd be a vegetable.
Right.
You use 100% of your brain, just not 100% of the time.
Well, and like you use more of your brain when you're asleep than when you're awake.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like you're dreaming, your brain stays active. Like, you may not remember your dreams, but you're dreaming.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're still breathing, right?
If you're breathing, that means your brain is active. Jesus.
Ugh.
Yep. So, season 2. Has it been announced they're doing a season 2, or is it still open?
So that was that big tweet kerfuffle where they tweeted series finale, and then a later tweet said season finale, and so we're not sure if it's been picked up in the background and just not announced yet.
I think it's probably good. The way they ended it, I think they will do another mini season, and then maybe the third time around, and maybe in like that second mini season, they may tie him in. That's my guess, at least.
I'm thinking we won't get the next season until we're in the next phase, and that we're going to see him pop up in like the Midnight Suns thing,
right?
Before we see any, like they're going to use that as a reason to dump him into the next story because Khonshu doesn't really have a plan that's obvious from this get-go point, right? But so they can kind of plan that out while moving his character around through the background so he can end up on the other side somewhere. Like there have to be like football level strategy meetings about these characters and where they're headed across the different phases, you know what I mean?
Well, they have to because they have to book out your actors.
Right,
like,
yeah.
That's the thing. Like Oscar Isaac he's not under contract to do another season right now.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Because of the nature of the character, they could switch out the actor every single season, and I wouldn't complain.
True. Yeah, because he does have DID. You could just say like, oh, he thought he looked that way.
Yeah. Just an event, some kind of traumatic event that shifts his self-image, like body dysmorphia. You could do a whole body horror Moon Knight season right off of that right there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, because the only one who's, like, active is Khonshu, so...
Yeah,
Because you never really see... I don't know. But yeah, so they could do whatever they want with it, really. I don't think they will do it. I think Oscar Isaac has fallen in love with this role. I really think
How
he
could
has.
you
so
not?
he's gonna make time for this. Not to mention, come on, it's fucking Disney money. Come on.
Dude, between this and Dune and Star Wars, the man's set for life. He could quit acting right now and just live off residuals forever. So the fact
100%.
that he comes back to do anything means he must really enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He is truly one of the biggest actors in the world right now. I think that's just so
He
crazy.
is.
And then
Yeah.
he's choosing to do an Egyptian action miniseries. That's a good actor right there, guys. Please, please, Oscar, don't have any darkness in your background. I don't want to find out that you're a shithead.
Oh,
Well, because he
God.
actually likes acting, not the paycheck. And that's how he's been since day one. Well, that, and he also did need a redemption from playing Apocalypse in the X-Men
Oh
movies.
yeah, he recently put out a release talking about that. He's like, yeah, I don't disown the movie, but I think it could have been better. Like, yeah,
He's like, he needed
agree.
It's
his
okay,
redemption.
Oscar. You're my favorite Power Rangers villain.
Oh, God.
I have a news.
That's one way to put it.
If there's one big negative I could give this final episode is that there is literally no ending. Like, there's no that show just stops.
Yep.
There's no denouement at all. He just wakes up in bed. Like, what happened to what's her face? Like, where's Aminet? It just stops. There's no.
It just stops.
What about all that shit that happened over in Egypt? What about all the people that lost their souls? Did they get them back?
Jesse,
No, they're dead. Dude,
it
they're
sounds
dead.
to me like you're complaining about a television series that's trying to continue the story.
I get it, but-
this is what I was pointing out off air to Hope. Like this is one of the few D+ series that feels like it's a series and isn't trying to link back into the movies. Like WandaVision is just bolting back into the films from its finish. Loki, holy shit, I've never seen a series try to turn into a movie as hard as that one did. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier was a little closer, but it was really more Lethal Weapon. They ended it. Like it can stop right there before the next movie. This is the first one that I've watched that I was like, oh, this is a series. There's like seasons you could do about this. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
There's a lot of room to wiggle around.
Yeah.
I was about to say this is the first true Disney Plus series, I feel. Or
Yeah.
like of the Marvel verse at least.
It's for the guy who is still adamant that they should have made it a movie and it should have been The Raid just redone with Moon Knight. I am very happy with what we got out of this. And to be very clear and fair, I couldn't have presented a story with the Egyptian roots like this. So I'm happy that it exists in this way. I'm
Oh
really,
yeah, and the
it's
fact that they
exciting to
got
see
an
that.
Egyptian director and everything that definitely helps to bring about.
He's a super fan of Moon Knight too. Like that it's something that's always interested him because it's always been linked to where he's from. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
oh shit, the things the Americans are into is referencing me. It's got to some degree feel like being like, imagine you're like a Japanese high schooler finding out that all the coolest Americans are getting into anime. And it's like, how validating must that be for your art?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because I remember growing up, I was ridiculed for liking anime at some points, you know. But
Yeah. I remember.
Now it's like who doesn't like anime? It's
Exactly.
just people
it's so mainstream, and I'm like, I was bullied. Fuck you guys. Like,
that- all those people are assholes or they're dead, one or the other.
right.
No, jails exist still.
Oh yeah.
Again, he said
They're getting
assholes.
fucked in their assholes. How about that?
Oof, Jesus Christ.
Hey, it's prisons. Like it is what it is. Anyways,
Yeah, high praise for Moon Knight from me.
yeah, has some problems. Definitely some bad CGI, questionable ethics behind the scenes.
Well,
yeah,
here's
good.
the thing with the CGI. Remember Mandalorian, the deep fake for Luke? Then they realized, oh, we fucked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
they came back the next season and fixed it. So they might just do that with Moon Knight. They're probably going to say, oh, wait, this actually is good. And then they'll probably put more money towards it because that was their, like, are we going to do this? Are we going to not series? So
I don't know if you guys have noticed, they've gone back and touched up all the Star Wars face CGI too. Like Rogue One is retouched.
Oh, yeah.
Like both Tarkin and Leia and that one have been retouched. They retouched Luke in The Mandalorian. If you go back and watch it now, like they're
Yep.
just pushing it out there and not saying anything. That's literally what is happening.
I have not rewatched any of those, so
Well, yeah, because they're banking on that. They're banking on the fact that people aren't going to look back, and if they are, they're not doing it with a critical eye to see that they've updated the shit. And
so they're just taking George Lucas's bullshit and doing it without telling anybody.
I bet it was in that $4 billion contract. I have a sneaking suspicion that it was something, because it gives you perpetual work. Like, it is just a constant workflow to do, and they can just do different re-releases and re-updates, and I don't. It just like that is as far into the conspiracy theory as I'm willing to go, but it feels like that to me.
Well, I was gonna say I just watched Rogue One for Star Wars Day, May the 4th. Yay! And yeah, everything looked a little bit crisper than. Well, the thing is, I do have like the 4-disc special edition Blu-ray DVD set as well, but I watched it on Disney Plus because, I fell on the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And like, I wouldn't give a shit if they were just open about it, because I am fully here for them going back and redoing the CGI for the prequels. I think those movies could really use a touch up. I just want them to be honest about it. Like, it could be a cool aspect of art to like, especially if you're maintaining the originals, but they're not doing that, and that's why they're not doing that, to cover their own asses and show that like they put out unfinished movies.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah. Well, apparently now I have to go rewatch Rogue One now. So, yeah. I
mean, why not? It's a great Star Wars movie.
It's worth a watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it.
Every once in a while. I wouldn't do it yearly, but
No. Every couple of years.
Yeah.
But, of the new Star Wars, it's the best.
After having seen Dune, when you rewatch Rogue One, it does make sense. You're like, oh yeah, this kind of should have been the new visual look for Star Wars all along.
Mm-hmm. And then they did. Which one was the one that came after that one? Was it Last Jedi that followed after that?
It was either Solo or Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Solo just being very gray looking.
Solo was fucking flat. But Ron Howard is not a visual guy.
He's not a very good director, in my opinion.
He can be very, very, very competent. I think he's a better collaborator than he is a leader, though.
Yeah.
He can be competent.
Well, no, like I mean, I say this because I'm like one link away from his family, so like I try to be careful about how I talk.
I know,
about
it's
them.
just so funny.
Like I he's a very like workman-like guy. Like he literally raised in the industry and raised in a really wholesome end of the industry as well that protected him from a lot of the bullshit that could have happened. So I recognize he's a very, very talented director, but he's very workman. He's getting images onto a screen that tell a really good story, and that's kind of his thing. And he does. I don't know the degree to which he stops and tries to incorporate the story into his visuals, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
He meets his days. He meets his budgets.
Yeah.
He's good at that. So.
He's a by the book. He knows what it is. He does what he's asked and told, and
Well, and you can tell his daughter's better at this stuff than he is too.
Oh,
like
God,
every
I love
episode
her.
that she does is just a home
it's
fucking
gold.
run.
It's fucking gold.
Yeah. Looking forward to Mandalorian season 3.
Dude, they should give her a whole fucking movie, dude. I think she would kill it. I think she would kill it.
Isn't she doing The Acolyte?
Oh, I don't know. Is she? I'm way more invested if that's the case.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know what The Acolyte even is. I don't know.
It's like related to the Sith hunters. It's like old. It kind of ties in old lore stuff. It's cool. It is cool.
Oh, okay.
It's like Old Republic shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, Moon Knight. I say, yeah, good. Go watch it. It's only 6 episodes. It's not that long.
Yeah.
It won't be much out of your day.
And none of the episodes are longer than like 45 minutes either.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm so thankful because when they were starting out with these shows, like WandaVision was only like 20 minutes each episode. And they were like, okay, that's too short. Then wasn't Falcon and Winter Soldier like an hour?
They were hour-long episodes.
Too much. For as little plot as you had in that thing, that's too goddamn long.
Although
45 minutes is the right length.
Unless you just show Bucky and Sam just dicking around on a boat,
Oh, and lest I skip over Hawkeye for a second,
Oh yeah.
I totally forgot about that one because it was so fucking forgettable. I love Haley. I love Haley.
Elena.
I think she.
They just need to get rid of Hawkeye. Just do Kate Bishop.
They did.
Yeah, I love Kate Bishop and the show. Honestly, I really like the show. The show was a movie. It was just an extended Die Hard movie, and I think that should have been that. Like, again, they're just rushing to get her into the MCU and linked into the Black Widow stuff. That's all that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all they're doing. It's just, why do you even need Jeremy Renner in that show in the first place?
Well, because he's a very bankable name, and he's got a lot of money behind him. He's a super producer.
Okay.
Well, that and I think they're gonna link in his wife because she was Sparrow.
Oh yeah.
Or was it Blue Jay?
Yeah,
it was
right.
No, it was Blue Jay. So because they're gonna link her in once Secret Invasion and Secret Wars happen, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I think that does it for Moon Knight. We're going to keep running down these rabbit holes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
When we said no rabbit holes and we jumped down 20 rabbit holes.
With the cusp of Mom on the horizon and looking at a spoiler from it in our chat right now that I will not describe for you, audience, but it is legitimately cool. Let's end the episode here. We shouted out our Twitters at the top of the episode, so you can rewind if you'd like to hear them. Hope, Jesse, thanks for talking about Moon Knight with me.
Oh, of course.
Always a pleasure.
And to you, listeners and fans, the L's on me. Moon Knight ended up being good. So that's the review. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.